What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 18 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Malekith and Naggarond Inc. campaign. Attention Naggarond Inc. workers. In accordance with your generous benefits package, administration is delighted to announce approval of the Dig Your Own Grave initiative, slash lowborn burial costs, and prevent spirit binding with Dig Your Own Grave, an employee-sponsored initiative. Alrighty, so as we saw last time, Malus Darkblade had his debut, and I guess Sarkhan did as well, in a way. Funnily enough, in lands corrupted by Slaanesh, which I'm sure that Sarkhan at least got something of a kick out of, and Malus is pretty hedonistic himself, so I'm sure he would as well. He likes to enjoy the little things in life. Anyway, with him having debuted, he was able to take out the army at the Folly of Malefics, and it looks like the Crag here are pretty darn weak, so even without a proper army, Malus might be able to take them out reasonably quickly and link up with Helebron. Really, we just need him to get a few turns where he doesn't have to do anything, and we can get that Black Arc to him and hopefully recruit him some stuff. We do want to get him temporary units until we can get him his cavalry forces. He is going to be our cavalry commander, as Malus did command the Household Knights before in battle repeatedly. He does tend to be a cavalry commander after all. Anyway, I digress. What we're going to do this episode is, well, probably continue our blockade of the Fortress of the Damned. Helebron will also shut down the Ag Hole, hopefully. I assume Halthor is going to move around us and try to go for Shagrath, but if he leaves Shard Bastion unguarded, then Shard Bastion will fall, and that'll be their last settlement. There's also the potential of actually just not waiting with MORATHI until next turn, because 45% ambush is kind of iffy, and I really don't want to waste the 80 Witch King's authority needed to bump us up to, I want to say 70%. It was I don't remember how much it was. I think it was 70, plus 25, right? Either way, we could try attacking Mazdamundi. This would be risky because we don't know what's in his army, but I think what we could do, if we're careful, is this. You could assault the units. On the other hand, wait. Another thing, I did download the one-button respec mod, and I'm going to hope that it just... Wait, also, can you reach Mazdamundi? Yes, you can. I did download or actually, I had it already downloaded. I activated the one-button respec mod, and we're going to hope that it doesn't cause any crashes. Now, we're not going to use this on MORATHI right now. Even though I don't like her skills the way they are, I kind of like the idea of keeping tenacious and grotesque sacrifices in the early game for the relationships with Norska until we raise that. Later in the game, the upkeep reduction to one army will probably be not super valuable, and neither will the diplomatic relations, and maybe at that point I'll think about switching to Endless Scheming for the 10% campaign movement range and the bonuses to MORATHI's army here, but we can also see how MORATHI's army performs essentially without the buffs, because if it's already too strong and doesn't need these buffs, then there would be no point into switching to Insidious, so we'll wait. However, she does have an assassin who we could respec and see if that seems successful, because you're kind of wasted with what you're doing, and I guess the scavenge isn't too bad, but Ward of Cain isn't super necessary for you. And I think that there are better things that we could get, like all these upgrades for your Shades and Dark Rider friends, namely the Shades, to be fair. Or even his personal attack capabilities. We can make him hit a lot harder in range, reload faster, more ammunition, though I doubt that he'd run out of ammunition. Also, what do we have here? Black Lotus, Imbuement Discouraged, and an immediate melee defense plus 25, or plus 25. That's not horrible. Just gives him a chance to attack without getting killed. Manbane gives you... Okay, I don't really care about the charge bonus, frankly, or the... Well, bonus infantry is okay. Cause of Fear is meh. What about Dark Venom? Plus 100% base weapon damage. Alright, so... Power up versus defensive capability. 45 seconds on a 90-second cooldown versus... one use. Wait, so this... Oh, this is also one use. Wait, then why is there a cooldown? Huh. Oh, it's so that you can't use it at the start of the battle. Okay, well, either way, we're gonna give this a try. Reset skills and 1,000 gold. Oh, it's expensive. Alright, it seems to have worked. We'll get Scavenge back up and running. I don't think there's anything here that will buff up MORATHI in particular, so we're not going to do that. 25 leadership, damn. And that is a lot, but, well, frankly, it's not like we're going to be putting the assassin into the fray, really, at least not by himself. Let's get him Hawkeyed. I think it's a good use of 1 point, but we can also get in the corner of your eye. I guess the question is whether we want to buff up the Shades and Dark Riders right now. Oh, armor for Shades, that's not bad. Yeah, okay, so we get, like, several assassins in this army and give Shades armor, which they are lacking, to be fair. Yeah, we're gonna need several assassins in MORATHI's army. Missile resistance is also great for Shades, but probably not needed immediately, as we're gonna be facing off against lizards, at least at first. Let us do Hardened by Cruelty for the armor, even if it ain't that much. And I don't really care about the character or a leadership effect. Out of this, it's between Dark Venom and Black Lotus. I'm going to think about this. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do yet, but we haven't really used the K-Knight Assassins as yet, and I would like to... I'd like to essentially judge it by how it performs. And yeah, let's just keep upgrading the Shades. Maximum time. It's not like we really need to upgrade the Assassins when they can stand back and fire in range against single targets anyway. So trust no one for you. And I guess Way of the Poison Sword, which funnily enough does not give poison attacks to any of these units. But well, and oh, I noticed this also buffs the Raven Heralds. Interesting. And this probably means that we should probably be putting the Raven Heralds in MORATHI's army. Unless we get another army that is... that powers up other similar units a lot, because I don't think anybody's going to be powering them up nearly as much as MORATHI will. But anyway, melee attack for Shades, and start on the missile resistance for Shades as well. There we go, Assassin. You're actually now weaker in terms of your single combat capabilities, but and that's fine. Also, MORATHI, you have no armor, and we're going to give you the Armor of Living Death from Kuran. It was nice for Kuran to have it, but at the same time, the addition of the Hunger will make MORATHI a little bit more tanky, and as well as the ward save and the melee defense. She really needed the melee defense. She has basically no armor, clearly, and very little melee defense in the first place, so the Hunger plus her natural regeneration will hopefully keep her alive. I will... hope so, anyway. Anything else that we want to swap out here? Do we want to give anybody a war banner, something along those lines? If only there was a banner to give her melee defense. Oh, I know she doesn't have Frenzy. Wait, does she not get Frenzy by anything? Because if she doesn't, then we should probably give her Frenzy. Yeah, MORATHI's pretty calculated, not so much frenzied, so yeah, that does make sense. Well, we can't give her the Blood Banner. Did we have an extra Sea Serpent standard? One's on Crone Hellebron and one's on Malekith, and the Blood Banner's with Malice, who has a massive amount of melee defense as compared to everybody else, which means we need another Sea Serpent standard, which we don't currently have. Wait. No. Hellebron, you have Frenzy because you're in a Manticore, meaning you don't need this. We're gonna give this to MORATHI. Although the immunity to psychology would be quite useless for her because she doesn't have the, she doesn't really get any benefit from it by virtue of being unbreakable, but that's actually going to be true for every single one of our lords because we're giving them all a master that forces them to become unbreakable. Anyway, let's see if this works out. And since there's nothing else to do this turn, we can attack Mazda Mundi. 37%, yeah, okay, we're not going to bother with that. Alright, let's take the risk. At the end of the day, if we fail here, we can always back off. Alright, okay, let's see what we're facing up. Ooh, Fireleech Bowl is not great. Lots of skinks in the army, but I wouldn't underestimate skinks. Let's give MORATHI the Sea Serpent standard. Like so. And the Gleaming Pennant to, let's say, the Demon Gnats. They're under biggest threat of this. In fact, we should probably try to get her a standard of discipline so that they have just that little bit of extra leadership. If I could go back, I'd do it right now. Ooh, Mazda has another Razor standard. I would love to steal that. We can't get anything else, though. Alright, well, let's give this a try. Pyrrhic Victory... we have a decent shot at this. They have Geomantic Guardian, so the Terminator Deep Strike ability with their Temple Guard. That Reviv Crystal needs to go immediately, and then Mazda Mundi needs to go, but he's not on Zlak. Okay, it's a good time to try to kill him off before he gets Zlak and becomes 10 times as threatening in melee as he is right now. Although his weapon strength is still pretty high, and his melee defense is no slouch. In fact, it's greater than MORATHI's. Anyway, let's get to it. Alrighty, destruction comes. A Morathi not very misery-ish, perhaps, especially if they're destroyed instantly, but we shall see. Oh, I do like that Dark Pegasus of those, Solafet, I believe the name was, or something along those lines. Very armored as well, I notice. I'm just comparing it to Seraphon, who, compared to the Manticore and to the Dark Pegasus, not very armored at all, but I guess the dragon scales are probably harder than any armor that could be made, at least easily made. Anyway, here we go, versing off against Mazdamundi. Gonna be a proper debut for Morathi, especially as I imagine, and this is going to be a fairly tough battle. The balance of power is about even to start off the bat, and Mazdamundi can probably outcast us, as the AI never spent adequate points in Morathi's casting tree, so she'll have to contend with, by and large, just repeatedly using Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma. Looks like we are going to get an apotheosis from Mazdamundi immediately on these Pterodon Riders with Fireleech Bolas, who we are going to be focusing down with our single unit of Dark Riders, as well as our Shades here, while Morathi tries to hunt down the enemy Pterodons. They should stand no chance against her. She is a pretty hard-hitting lord with a massive amount of melee attack at the very least, even if she is most likely going to be somewhat fragile. But she does have several forms of regeneration, so hopefully we can essentially fix that. Anyway, surprisingly, the Fireleech Bolas are not going to hover overhead and drop bolas on our Shades, but instead going to go into melee. A bizarre choice from the AI, unless they were trying to trick us into getting a Morathi on the ground so that they could attack her, but this seems like a terrible idea, as in they were attacking the Shades, then they switched to Morathi, and now they're just going to get shot up by the rest of our units. In the meantime, the rest of the army is moving forward. Over on this flank, we do have more Pterodon Riders getting shot up by our other units of range units, our Dark Shards in this particular case, but these ones at least are dropping those bolas on our infantry. Fireleech Bolas are incredibly valuable and do a lot of damage, so it's weird that the AI decided to sacrifice two of them by putting them into melee. Anyway, the battle is joined over on this side with the Pterodon Riders by and large taken out. Morathi can leave and join another portion of the battle. The Chameleon Stalkers have arrived and are going to smash into our Dread Spear line, while these Temple Guards are probably going to obliterate the other Dread Spears here, but we'll see how long they can hold. Hopefully long enough to get the enemy Temple Guard shot up by the various range units. Alright, and this is a pretty nice looking terrain, I think. The lighting is good, everything's nice and visible, and all the units are popping in terms of their color scheme. The Chameleon Skink's color scheme kind of actually matches ours a little bit with the purple feathers that they've got. That's kind of interesting. Now I'm wanting a Lizardman ally to get some of these in our army, but not these ones, because they're going to get ripped apart as they get shot in the back and in the sides by our Dark Riders and our Shades. This is just the beginning of the Shades in Morathi's army, as we will be building plenty more, so they should enjoy themselves. They will soon be joined by plenty of their clan brethren. Otherwise, it looks like Morathi, together with the Master Uriel, are going to go ahead and double-team Cricket over here, who is in pretty bad shape, though he does manage to damage Morathi, who is also damaging herself by repeatedly using Power of Darkness. These two should be able to take care of him, and on top of that, they both have regeneration. So as long as we don't reach the cap, we should be fine. Over on the main line, the enemy Revivification Crystal has arrived, and we are going to be focusing the thing down with our units of Dark Shards over on this side, as well as our single unit of, or a single Cainite Assassin, who will also be targeting that thing. Our Witch Elves have arrived on the flanks and are smashing into these Chameleon Stalkers, and considering they're pretty good infantry blenders, they should be able to win the fight there. Though we still do need to be careful of those precursor weapons. Otherwise, really got to bring down that Reviv Crystal, and it looks like it's about to drop down to about 25% HP. Over on this side, our Demon Nuts of Slaanesh have hit the enemy Skink Cohort and Saurus in the side. Or wait, there's no Saurus here, it's just the Skink Cohort in the side, though I suppose their armor piercing is wasted here. But this was the closest enemy to them, and they had the opportunity to flank them, so they damn well took it. Oh, damn. You gotta be careful about losing them, though. They are still very fragile, and if they suffer enough of a morale shock, they will go down, and not in a good way. Alrighty, in the meantime, Mazda Mundi has moved into range of our range units. Bad idea, Mazda Mundi, as his shield, his barrier, rapidly goes down, and the Dark Shards and Shades and Dark Riders all start focusing him down. We gotta stop him in place, so MORATHI is going to charge him. And the reason to stop him in place is so that he doesn't get out of the range of our range units. And here comes the Master Uriel to help as well. Alright, with the amount of range hits coming into Mazda Mundi's side, and both MORATHI and the Uriel smacking him around, the Toad should be gone very soon. There we go, off of that chair, and he's going to teleport out. With the Mazda Mundi down, the morale shock is going to be severe to the enemy army, and they're down to about 15% balance of power in their favor. Their revivification crystal is gone, though they have done decent amounts of damage to our basic frontliners. The Dread Spears are, well, these Dread Spears are pretty much broken. These Bleak Swords are in bad shape as well, and I think there's another one that's really badly hurt over here, these Dread Spears, but not as hurt as I would have expected them to be, considering they were fighting Temple Guard. I guess by virtue of our range superiority over on this side of the map, they managed to take care of themselves, or acquit themselves fairly well. And here comes the Terminator Deep Strike, as Mazda Mundi, after being dead, has decided to leave us a parting gift by sending a unit of Temple Guard to surround this poor unit of already nearly broken Bleak Swords. That said, a single unit of Temple Guard way too late in the game is not going to help him win the battle, especially as we do still have Murderous Prowess active. Alrighty, a little bit too late on that Deep Strike, you gotta admit, especially considering that they really could have used that unit of Temple Guard to tie up our range units. I do find that for whatever reason, the Lizardman AI does... Wait, do these guys have little toads on their... Huh, they have little toads tied to them. I didn't even realize that. That's adorable. I wonder why they do that. I take it these guys are poisonous. Maybe they dip their blow darts into their... Or venomous... No, poisonous. Dip their blow darts into the toads? I gotta look up why the Chameleon Skinks have those. Either way, they won't have them for long as they get ripped apart by demonettes and probably shot by the range units as they fight. We should also take a good look at the demonettes fighting while we still have them before they get ripped apart by, well, something. As especially considering we only have one unit, and with Nikari in trouble, it may be likely that that we won't be able to get another unit. Anyway, with that, the last of the Chameleon Skinks are out, and so do the summoned Temple Guard, or at least get shattered, and just like that, the battle is ours. And not actually too bad. We did certainly take quite a lot of damage on some units, those poor Bleak Swords, and those poor Dread Spears, but not horrible. Yeah, see, the Demonettes, even though they never got attacked by range, and they never got... They never had a front-line fight. They only hit an enemy in the flank and in the back. They still got very badly beat up. And we're never really going to make these guys much more tanky. Maybe if we can get an alliance from Nikari, we'll be able to get some exalted demonettes. Although, maybe this is a good reason to ally with the Demons of Chaos to acquire Slaneshi units from them as well. I'll have to think about that. It feels wrong to have a MORATHI army without at least some demonettes, doesn't it? Anyway, let's fast forward as we chase the enemy down as best we can. Of course, we are outside the enemy settlement near to Machu Peaks, and thus every enemy caught will make the next battle better for us, as whatever remains alive will remain alive to fight another day. Though Mazda Mundi and most of his army are not going to be there. Close victory for us, certainly, but definitely worth it, and this will severely weaken the faction. Alrighty, honestly, that really wasn't too bad. The only thing that has me concerned is I have a feeling that the single unit of demonettes is going to be an issue throughout the rest of the campaign for this army, because I'm always going to be wary of it getting a morale shock and then just dying, or getting hit with a single big spell and then dying instantly, and then we'll never be able to recover them unless Nakari somehow survives. But I'm not going to go out of my way to protect Nakari. That's for certain, and we might even destroy him depending on how much of Ulthuan he manages to take if he recovers. Anyway, I'd love to take the money, but I think we have to heal up here because we are in enemy territory, and who knows if there's another enemy army nearby. Still, we did a decent job. 24k damage on MORATHI is very respectable, considering she doesn't currently have any real damaging spells. Mazdamundi did not achieve too much with 1400 damage only, and while we did manage to get most of the big threats, unfortunately the Pterodon Riders do remain alive, so we'll have to contend with them presumably next turn. Anyway, enslave those lizards, and we'll go into raiding stance so that we don't suffer any more attrition here. Let's also stay away from the town just in case we get attacked. We get aura, size, plus 75% and miscast base chance. All units in army. Not horrible. I don't know what MORATHI's base miscast chance is, but I imagine with all the upgrades that she can get, it'll probably not be that high in the first place. Another point in Shadow's Guard, and yeah, we're gonna get a lot of missile resistance on those shades if we can get 3 assassins in MORATHI's forces. And then, of course, round out the army with some Doomfire Warlocks. What else can she use other than Shades and Doomfire Warlocks in terms of favorite assets, if we go for it? Dark Riders as well. Melee defense is only provided for melee attack and defense both are only provided for Shades, whereas melee attack only applies to Dark Riders and not Doomfire Warlocks, but Doomfire Warlocks do have a fairly high melee attack in the first place, and they really do need the defense more anyway, if we bother going for this at all. Anyway, alrighty, well done to MORATHI, got a decent chunk of change out of that, and in fact, I did want to reset the skills of Admiral Leech here, who has some bizarre skill choices from the AI. So we're gonna do this, resets character skills, still 1,000 gold, but it is what it is. Route Marcher will definitely get you Ship's Navigator because it's absolutely necessary. And then, what do we have here? Melee attack unstoppable. We will get magical attacks for Lord's Army. Damn, the Black Arcs get really powerful when you get a Ship's Navigator. Magical attacks and spell resistance for everybody. A little bit of research, like the casualty or punishment rate. And ooh, we're gonna have to choose a faction-wide buff. Ammunition for everybody. Casualties captured for everybody. Winds of magic for everybody. I don't know what I want to lean heavily into right now, though I'm willing to listen to ideas. I mean, if we get like a dozen Black Arcs and they all get monster roosts, lots and lots of vigor reduction for all the monsters is going to be quite strong. On the other hand, lots of Winds of Magic Power Reserve can also be very useful because we'll have, at the end of the game, like double the mana that we potentially have right now. But anyway, what we do need is to assign the rest of the points. We have 5. We definitely want to get Line Breaker because that'll be where the army is going to be here. Don't really care about Unassailable as much, though. Alright, I think we'll go Inspiring Presence, 3 points into Line Breaker. We'll get these after, but for now we'll get the Revered Name of Power to improve the army. Though more likely than not, we will be using the, let's see, 15 leadership during ambushes. Wow, this one's garbage. Look at that. Moonshadow. Leadership plus 15 during ambushes, and not for Lord's Army, but only for the Admiral, and also completely useless on these guys. And only 5% movement speed compared to some of the other potential power-ups. This is absolute trash. Granite Stances, okay, it's not bad. We got Standard Die, we get Hold the Line, and well, it's okay. I don't believe we have access to Hold the Line on him usually, but I think we do get Standard Die. So what does this... I feel like this ability should also reduce the cooldown of Standard Die in case you get it via other means, but yeah, you can have Granite Stance. Leech Granite Stance. Alright, and... oh, no, you don't get Standard Die. You get Dark in the Skies instead. Oh, you know what? Then that is quite valuable. Alright, I'm happy with Granite Stance. Moonshadow is absolute horrible trash, though. I guess now the question is, do we stay here, or do we sail out? Well, either way, we can't sail out until we get a few buffs, so we're going to not do so. And by buffs, I mean units. because that was unclear even to me. Alrighty, let's build some stuff. Let's use the rest of our money. We'll probably... Ooh, look at that public order reduction, but hardly surprising with the Slaaneshi corruption around. We're still going to go for slave drive here, however. Both for the growth for Tyrant Peak, which is really going to need it, but also for the bonus public order. You know what? We're also going to rush you. I know it's 150 to save a turn, but nonetheless. And we're going to start building up to the next level. Not going to rush that, however. And, damn, we can't get Torture Posts at level 2. Oh, well, let's get growth immediately. Definitely iron. Definitely exotic animal pens. Well, maybe not definitely on that one, but for now. Guild halls for you and crafting district. And that's pretty much all the cash we have remaining. We should probably also build additional growth everywhere here. There we go. Best we can do. Alright, and we'll delete the city tunnels once the Slaaneshi corruption has been cleared out, but that's why we got Crack the Whips, or at least one of the reasons why we got Crack the Whips, so that we can reduce that corruption a little bit. Also, we got 2 more turns of Druchii Discipline. And especially in the early game, we're definitely going to need to keep this up and running pretty much at all times. Later in the game, maybe not, but no, still probably. This probably has to be up permanently as it's a stronger buff than, I don't know, a decent combination of techs that we can get. Honestly, bleed alone, even at the cost of 15% damage on those units, is still insanely good. Let's see if there's anybody... Did you just level up? Master Tactician, you just leveled up. Alright, you know, just out of curiosity, let's see what Martial Name of Power you get. You get Poison Blade and Head Reaper. Ah, so you have the same choice as Kuran did, I believe, or at least one of our other units did. We don't have anybody with Poison right now, but honestly, I don't really care a crazy amount about either of these. Not because they're bad, but because this guy in particular has Tactician, which is kind of meh. At least compared to some of the other buffs that we can get. On the other hand, he is a level 11 and now has magical attacks and the weapon strength additionally offered, so maybe we can still put him in an army. I'm a little bit over farming for skills, but at least based off a few of the other campaigns currently ongoing. It's taking so long to get proper skill points, although some are just so ridiculously powerful, like in the Krog-Gar campaign. Perfect Spawn is just insane. You put a regeneration on a Saurus riding a Carnosaur, and they just become a one-man army, or one lizard. Well, technically 2 lizard, but you know, you get what I mean. Anyway, with that, we're out of... moves to make this turn, so we're gonna end the turn, and let's see what happens out here, and out here, I guess. Fortress of the Dam. Ooh, wait, do we need to level you up? No, not you. Not you. Do we, however, want to maybe give you some stuff? You have only a factor here. Is there any ancillaries that we could give you? You know what? The War Banners would work quite well on these lords because they get both benefits out of the weapon strength and the missile strength, so why not? Scarecrow Banner probably wouldn't be super useful for us. Choirmaster does give us nothing here, and that's about it. Is there a cheap enchanted item we could give you? From down here, Potion of Speed, funnily enough, increases reload speed, so it'll make you hit a little bit harder in range, if nothing else. And we're probably going to get rid of some of these shortly. Whip of Misery, bound, oh yeah, it's entity large size, melee attack minus 30 for 30 seconds, and a little bit of damage, but honestly not that great. Nothing here is too big of a deal. Yeah, alright, let's temporarily give him the Potion of Speed, but most of the stuff will probably be swapped out to other stuff later. And this is all stuff that we don't care a crazy amount about losing. Anyway, now let's end the turn and let's see if they sally out. Addition, Sharehead Reaper, you... Oh, you were going to move very slightly. Alright, just keep acting as a scout. You're fine as you are. We may also want to consider, as soon as we have our Hydra and our Charybdis to... Oh, hello! There's a full stack here. As soon as we have our Hydra and our Charybdis, we may want to consider another quest, i.e. doing Malekith's second quest, because her public order is a little bit problematic. Ha! Your ally has been attacked. The Bleak Holds are going to attack now. Wow, I was really not expecting that one. I was really not expecting that one. Are you dumb, Bleak Holds? Well... that's an issue, but obviously we're not going to betray, the Ancestral Throng, so we're going to enter war on the side of the Ancestral Throng, really. Oh, this is really interesting. And they're going to take back a little bit of territory. All right, well, good for them. Hey, like Malekith said well, we didn't invest in either of these two settlements, so it doesn't really matter, but like Malekith said 2 episodes ago, or last episode rather, he doesn't hold a grudge because this is our way, essentially. What is this? Shroud of Death. Slippery, causes fear and stalk, as well as actually not a horrible piece of armor. Physical resistance 12 and melee defense 8, for 1,000 gold and meaningless loyalty on somebody who's 10 out of 10. On the other hand, we could get a +4 melee attack permanently on him. No, I think this Shroud of Death is probably more worth it. I'll have his soul, but I don't think we've read this, so we are going to give it a read right now. During a particularly bloody festival, an assassin suddenly dashes out from behind a tapestry. He leaps at you, poison dagger clenched in his fist. With a graceful sweep of their blade, one of your lords strikes at him, severing his outstretched arm. Guards quickly seize the would-be killer, but your lord demands the honor of the kill. No, I'll have his soul. There can be no mercy killings in your court. Drag the assassin to the fiery pits. Have the hags bind his soul in an artifact of power, so it can be tormented for all eternity. Yeah, I'm in agreement here. No, I'll have his soul. Kazrak is also here. I wonder if we could get Kazrak to attack the Bleakholds, but we do want to take their territory. Anyway, amateur discovered, settlement sacked, forced of Arnheim. Yeah, we know. We'll get to it, game. We'll get to it. A dark steed for Ava, who is currently one of our tech thieves, and this is not going to need it, but we may swap that out later on. Anyway, let's see what we've got going on with the Bleakholds. You see, Gromby, we're maintaining friendship. You should trust Malekith. Man, do we want to send Recruiter Aspiron to take these guys out? Another problem with this is, by virtue of them declaring war on us, we've gained vision of Tiranoc. Not Avalorn, mind you, but, the problem with this is as soon as we gain vision of Avalorn, they'll probably immediately declare war on us because of the massive amount of aversion, and they'll probably start sailing up our coast. Now, the Twisted Glade could probably defend itself against reasonable amounts of stuff, but we do have to be wary of it. And the reason I'm wondering is because Malekith is somewhat busy right now. I want to take Skeggy and I want to take Port Reaver. Catpillar is probably going to be allowed to land. Ooh. Here's another problem. Would Catpillar and Marchstance be able to reach Morathi at Machu Peaks? Because if he is, then Morathi would be in danger. Especially with her army damaged as it is, we may actually have to manually fight this just to prevent the damage, or in the alternative back off. But I would prefer generally not to do that. Also, how are we suffering attrition here? A rite has been performed in this territory. Oh, huh? And they used a right. Well, wasn't that clever? But only there, eh? Not... Oh, wait, this is our own territory. No, it's all over their territory. Alright, fine. Do we take Skeggy? It will be a port settlement. Or do we just move down to Port Reaver and hope that Catpillar decides to attack Malekith? The problem here is I'm not entirely sure we'd be able to go from Skeggy to Port Reaver after. We can always come back to Skeggy. I have to wonder whether we... You know what? At least this might prevent this guy landing at Port Reaver. It wouldn't prevent him from landing at Swamp Town, though. You know what, Malekith? I think you're going to go to Port Reaver first. We still have Hexoatl, which we may sack or we may take because it's a good settlement. You can't actually reach Hexoatl, though, but you could threaten it out of Port Reaver, so I think that's the way to go. I wonder what's in this army, but it's looking pretty skinky, so it's not going to be a huge concern for Malekith. You're going to auto-resolve this? Yeah, not too bad. And you're going to occupy it rather than sack it. I think. I mean, we could still sack it, but it's not a crazy amount of money, so not a huge deal right now for us. We are not collecting income, and we will continue not collecting income. This is fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. Alright, you stay here and maintain your scouting capabilities. Hyther, I guess you're also gonna stay here. Well, we need to steal tech from everywhere anyway, that doesn't change, but I want you, Movar, to move down here to keep an eye on these guys. It's also very likely that these guys will declare war on us, although they seem to like us killing Hexoatl. Huh. It would be funny if we'd be able to ally with the Hunts Marshal's expedition, wouldn't it? And gain access to fire rain rockets, or Hellstorm rocket batteries, rather. It might be nice. Also, what happened with Celebron? Where did this guy go? Oh, he is currently raiding at Shagrath, but there's no way that he can take it, which means Celebron gets to free take Shard Bastion. We could sack it for 5k, or we could just capture it at tier 2. 5k ain't bad. I was wondering whether this was worth it. How much does it cost to upgrade this? So we get 2.4k to upgrade, then probably another 600 to repair the buildings in here if we keep the buildings. So we come out slightly ahead at the cost of public order issues. Do we want to deal with another province with more public order issues? No, I don't think we do. Ow, close victory, really close. Oh, right, the Auto-Resolve really wants to screw us on this, but this army has absolutely no chance against Celebron, so I'm still disinclined to actually bother with this. We're just going to Auto-Resolve it, and we are going to 500 slaves. Nah, just occupy it. No provincial instability. Hey, another slaver, that's nice. Hey, a Cauldron of Blood for Aurora. Nightshade has a mount now, and we're just waiting for a Cauldron of Blood on Feka as well. Ooh, you have Hag Queen now, so we can do this, and we can do... wait, do we want to probably invest in replenish troops? You have it maxed out, right? Yeah. Alright, here's what we'll do. We will try to get towards this as fast as possible. So we'll still get Scent of Slaughter. We need the melee defense for the Blood Cauldrons anyway. And I guess offerings for the shrine. What did I do with you? I went to offerings for the shrine. Yeah, makes sense. It's mostly for the charge bonus. The casualty punishment rate ain't horrible, but it's only for this one particular unit. Then we can go into Promises of Bloodshed, and into Armor when attacking for enemies, or Armor Piercing when defending. Yeah, so enemies are not likely to be attacking Celebron pretty much ever, which means we get a lot more value out of Dripping Blades. And then we do out of Blessed Murder, as odd as that may sound. I think I assume I did the same thing here. Nope, but starting to now. Armor, piercing, weapon damage when defending. Yeah, okay, good luck to the enemies. Alright, swell. And we'll keep saving skills on you. We can also get the Sisters of Singing Doom in here. But we could also get that down here rather than spending the money. And oh, look at you. You didn't do anything about the blockade. It's a little bit surprising. Well, let's send Ava up this way to Blood Mountain. And can Sereth reach Silver Tower? No. I'd rather not waste any turns tech thieving or moving to tech thief while we have a 100% success rate. Just keep making use of the tech thievery. And save it up, essentially, everywhere we can. I wanted to see if the enemy was building up the Silver Tower. Malice, you could probably take the Fetid Catacombs, as the enemy has poor defenses here. Now, look at that, Norska. You're starting to like us more and more. Well, Throggy, I mean. Morathi hasn't leveled, but maybe if we fight that manual battle again, she might be able to. Alright, so here's what we'll do. Malice, you're gonna march to the Fetid Catacombs in Druki First Strike, as that'll help. Sharkia will follow you in a second. And we'll encircle you. We'll obviously auto-resolve this garbage. We're not fighting this. There's no need. Alrighty, Sharkia, go here. Ava, you're gonna follow along to the Folly, and you're gonna transfer units whenever we get down here. But we gotta maintain momentum. So Malice attack, and oh, you're gonna lose a Dread Spear to this? Oh, I don't want to rebuild a Dread Spear that has 1,000 gold. Man, you're gonna make us manually fight this, aren't you? Game. Any way to prevent us from needing to do that? Campaign movement range, attrition, Dracow. Oh, yes. Upkeep reduction is probably always going to be worth it. Casualty punishment for the Lord. If we get Line Breaker, we may, just may, be able to prevent the auto-resolve units from dying, but I'd still probably think that the upkeep reduction is more valuable to us right now. Not a crazy amount for this army, but once we have more units in there and other stuff, it'll change. Ava, you stopped moving. Do not stop moving. Never stop moving. Always forward, folks. Let's see. Anything else out here happening? Nope. Okay, we're good.
Something is not right.
Yeah, we still can't auto-resolve. Alright, I'll manually fight the super quick. Send Malison to do his thing, and he should be able to clear them out. I guess we got a little bit of help from the artillery, but I don't think we need the magics here. As in, we won't need to wait for the sorceress to come in and help, because I mean, how could they possibly kill Malice? I mean, I probably shouldn't jinx it, but, you know, nonetheless. And, ooh, this is one of those very, very bright, snowy maps. The ones that make me want to consider switching to... Oh, right, we have Dooku First Strike as well. Now let's go all the way up here. Masters, you can sort of follow him in, but maintain some distance from the enemy, I think. They don't have any Warhounds, do they? I don't think so. Can't actually tell, because it's so bright, whether you guys are in range. Okay, yeah, no, you're not. Like... say so. You guys can turn off skirmish mode. You guys can help out. You can go back here. Like so. And I believe that's it. Start. Malice. In. You want to charge through this? They actually have a Marauder Chieftain and a Fimir Mirg, so you have to watch out for that as well. Alright, good, good. Masters, here you. Find the Fimir Mirg and use that Potion of Foolhardiness now to charge. Oh, you got Malice. How'd you miss that one? I guess that the Fimir doesn't really want to fight, and Fimir's just gonna ignore you? You're really gonna ignore Malice. Oh, that's really gonna piss him off. He wouldn't like that one bit. Could you guys stop them? Hey! Really? You're firing at the, Okay, okay. Our artillery piece decided that, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fire at the, Mirg completely pointlessly. Mirg is pretty much done for. You don't need to transform yet. Pop the Demon's Curse and buff up. Where's that enemy chieftain? Go after the him now. Did I just see the him? You go after those Marauder Hunters, and that'll should be pretty much over. Didn't even really need to transform, did we? Alright, well, that chieftain is pretty much done for. Also, Malice is pretty used to hunting down Chaos forces, and due to his time in the Waste searching for artifacts, I mean, and there we go, yeah. He killed those Marauder chieftains very quickly, and he did not take any damage whatsoever, alright. Yeah, so you see what I mean about me being confused as to why this wasn't auto-resolvable? 2 unit losses. And I have to wonder whether it was even the enemies that killed those units, or whether it was our own units. As in our own Reaper Bolt Thrower. I don't know if it registers kills if it kills your own units. I wouldn't imagine. 300 and 2,500, actually not horrible. We'll occupy the place. Like so, and another slaver. Alright, I'll swap out, ooh, perfect vigor and campaign movement range. Very nice, Malice, very nice. What I was saying was... I will deal with the ancillaries between the episodes, so just to prevent wasting of time. So I think what we'll do is we'll send Ava up to the Fetid Catacombs with these units. Malice can take the Palace of Princes, and then Ava and Malice can meet up at the Blood Mountain and head to Infernius. Hopefully by then, Hellebrand will have destroyed Halfthor, Mammoth Rider, and attack the Fortress of the Down and can start moving towards the Silver Tower of Sorcerers, though I do expect that Siggy will probably have respawned there by then. Anyway, with that, we're pretty much out of time, and I unfortunately am going to have to call the episode here. Next time, Malekith advances southward, and we'll probably have a fight against this full stack belonging to Catpillar, though I doubt there'll be any kind of real issue. Morathi will advance southward to Machu Picchu, so we'll fight this manually as well, just to try to prevent her from taking damage, and then we'll continue our assault on the Lizard territories. We will also have to try to do this quick before the Bleak Holds manage to take too much territory. They can't take Khag Hall, but I am a little bit concerned about Val's Anvil. Damn them. And Kazrak has a full stack now. Wait, does he have any settlements? Because if he has settlements, he'd be able to become our vassal. No, he doesn't. Wait, can Dark Elves even vassalize? I know that a lot of factions can't vassalize. A lot of factions that really, really should be able to vassalize can't vassalize. No, Dark Elves can't vassalize. Okay, that's just stupid. I really feel like Skaven, Dark Elves, and Chaos Dwarves should all be able to vassalize. Absolutely, it should be a mechanic. Are we able to vassalize our own similar types of factions, like these guys? No, just Confederation, military access, and unless Peace Treaty doesn't ever offer a thing to vassalize. I'm not sure, but I know for a fact the Skaven can't create vassals, which I find bizarre. But anyway, calling it here. More Malekith to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave a like and comment, especially to the 330 threshold that we did achieve for this episode to keep the episodes uploaded quickly. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.